Namaste, namaste. Everybody, welcome from cold Slovenia. It should be summer. It's cold like anything. Weather doesn't want to be vulnerable. Weather doesn't want to express its emotions. That's the problem. Emotions are warm, but you have to be vulnerable. And once again, we are to dive deep into relationships, vulnerability, the way of new love. I'm most vulnerable and I'm most sensitive. I tell you all my secrets. Even here, I tell you all my emotions. If I get bad temper, I show you. If I don't like anything, I show you. I always speak my truth. I speak my heart. I'm so vulnerable, and I know that I'm so sensitive, and I'm posting controversial things sometimes that people will judge. Because I'm so vulnerable. Vulnerability is everything. But I will not speak about vulnerability for us to become a masters, but relationships. Relationships. Vulnerability is everything in romantic relationship. There can be no happy relationship in love between two lovers without vulnerability. I give you my word. Vulnerability. To really be vulnerable to someone. You cannot get into a relationship and be happy, and you cannot have happy relationship if you are not vulnerable. Vulnerability is you dare to express your true emotions, how you feel, truly, from the heart, with no cover, no cold. Divine Feminine has no problem expressing, being vulnerable, expressing emotions truly, even too much many times. But Divine Masculine has this problem. Is that old programming, that vulnerability and expressing the emotions, it's something that is weakness. And they don't. They rather shut themselves down and become cold like this weather. Because if you want to be vulnerable and express your emotions, somebody may reject you, somebody may step on your heart. And Divine Masculine is afraid of this and is shutting down. But Divine Feminine has never problem expressing emotions and being vulnerable and expressing her heart truly out. I know, because I am one. And Divine Feminine always got hurt and always got smashed. Just that what masculine was afraid of. So vulnerability. There comes great risk with vulnerability. If I open myself and vulnerable, I express my emotions to somebody, I may get rejected. I may get cold response. I may get hurt. But without expressing the true emotions, being vulnerable to express, this is how I feel. This is what is in my heart. You cannot start a relationship. You cannot remain in a relationship. Because if lovers are not able to express their emotions from the heart, I love you so much from the heart. You mean so much to me. You're precious to me. I feel you. I always see you. You are really to express how much they love each other, how they feel for each other, how they make them feel goosebumps, butterflies, to rock each other's words. Without this, without vulnerability, you cannot express your emotions, and without expressing your emotions, you cannot remain in a relationship, you cannot maintain a relationship. Vulnerability is everything. Vulnerability is everything. You have to be vulnerable. If you are in a relationship with somebody, if you are starting, you have to be vulnerable, that you tell them, this is what I don't like. This is what disturbs me. Please don't do this in my presence. This is me. To be vulnerable, to state your will, to also state your heart out, what you don't like, what doesn't resonate with you. You have to be vulnerable for that, because other one may reject you, may not accept you. But if you are not vulnerable and you don't express your true, as you feel inside, sensitivity out, they will always violate it. They will always disturb you with it. And it will accumulate within. And then something bad will happen. That may end the relationship or something. And if they really cannot accept your sensitivity, and that you ask them nicely, that in your energy, you don't like this, if they don't love you. So anyway, if they cannot accept your will, when you really state out about certain things that you really don't feel, and they are disturbing you in your energy, if they are continuing doing this in your presence, they don't love you. If they don't respect, they don't love you. But if you are not vulnerable, you will always put up with that shit just in fear of losing somebody, maybe rejecting somebody. If they cannot accept your vulnerability or sensitivity, they don't love you. They don't love you. Vulnerability is everything. I know the divine masculine has problem with vulnerability. And any relationship, especially those lovers who are in separation, those who are afraid, divine masculine, afraid to enter the relationship, to even start, afraid of expressing emotions, afraid of expressing, this is lack of vulnerability. They're afraid to be vulnerable because they're afraid to get hurt. They're afraid of their own sensitivity, their own emotions. And it's fears are inside in the mind, worries and all these things. Darkness and light in the heart, love, truth. But Divine Feminine has no problem being vulnerable, to express all these things out, even her fears, her worries, and her love, her emotions, her hopes, her faith. But Divine Masculine has problem with this. Divine Masculine has problem with this. But just imagine if lovers would be vulnerable. First they tell each other how much they love each other, how they feel each other, how much they mean to each other, and how they feel each other in their heart, really openly emotion. And then if they would express their fears, their worries, their illusions, everything, all the darkness also, everything that is making them run away, everything that is making them hide and shut down so they become cold. If they would express each other true emotions and how they feel, and fears, and all the darkness and all the light, they would become best friends. But you have to be vulnerable for that. And there can be no relationship without vulnerability. Why? Because if you are not able to express the emotions to the one that is in your heart, if you are not able to express your fears, your worries, your hopes, your everything, your illusions, you cannot build trust. You cannot build friendship. You cannot build anything. You are afraid of being vulnerable, then you have some masks on, you are keeping everything in, and relationship breaks, separation, drama, fight. You have to allow yourself to be vulnerable. Lovers should really express, this is what I'm afraid of. This is what I worry. This is some inexplainable in my mind I shut down. They should speak to this to each other, to be vulnerable. Because if they are vulnerable and they will express each other's darkness and light, everything to each other, then they will become best friends. They will heal each other. They will trust each other. They will find home in each other. They will really connect on the sacred level, sacred bond. They will be best friends. I open myself to you. You understand my fears. You maybe do not agree with my fears and my worries, but you accept and you wait. They would not suffer in separation also. They would lay their cards out. Here, see my heart, accept me as I am. Even say I'm not ready. But truly expressing your emotions, how you feel, how much you love you feel. And then also your fears and illusions and mental worries. And they will be best friends for sure. And on the basis on best friends, they will have trust. Home in each other, like brother and sister, mother and father, father and mother, father and son, father and daughter, mother and son. They would really create that sacred bond between each other. Can you imagine this, huh? If they would only dare to be vulnerable, how beautiful this would be. And if they would have trust and friendship, they would, in this, when they are able to be vulnerable, they are able to open each other's hearts and minds, darkness and light, everything. And they find trust, they find friendship and healing in each other. And that is that sacred connection, friendship. And without this, there can be no happiest love life ever. Because they are afraid of being vulnerable. They are afraid of... There can be no trust if I'm afraid of expressing myself to you. My fears, my worries, my love, my hopes, my faiths, how I feel about you. There cannot be. No. Means I'm actually running away from myself. I don't dare to show you myself. How can I be happy with you in a relationship if I'm afraid of even being so vulnerable, of expressing how I feel, how you make me feel, and also what kind of triggers, darkness you trigger in me, fears, worries. There can be no. Old masculine programming is, I'm fine, I have no emotions, hiding inside, always pretending everything is okay, pretending I am the queen, I am the king in whatever body you are. I will not express myself, this is weakness. Putting that fake picture of everything being alright, but relationship is just in separation, or they are united, but this is not love, but suffering. Suffering because there is no trust, there is no friendship, because there is no vulnerability. Somebody has their shields on and is afraid of putting them down. No vulnerability, no friendship, no trust. But this is the old way, old way. Especially with me, I can accept everything. If it's truly coming from the truth, express your fears, express your worries, express your darkness, express your light. If they try to cover up something with me, something cold, and I will not deal with a person. If I want to be in a relationship with somebody, if they cannot express their emotions, their fears, if they are running away, I cannot deal with them. This is most important, to be vulnerable. And what you will find on the other side, understanding, friendship, healing, and somebody who may say, I understand you, we are human. So vulnerability is everything, everything. Without being vulnerable, we cannot have no happy relationship. Third dimensional relationship when there was no trust, no friendship, just pretending that I'm fine, and then power games between lovers. Like you are my enemy, I should be vulnerable and keep my shield on my heart. If I show my heart to you and my fears and mine, you may hurt me. This is not love, this is not relationship, this is war. This is war, in preparation for war. The new relationship of New Earth is built on truthfulness, sincerity, on expressing true emotions, true fears, everything, darkness and light, to each other, being so vulnerable that I can show my heart to you like open cards. I'm showing to you all every day as I am, raw, authentic, all my flaws, all my perfections, all my divinity, all my insanity. It's everything divine. I'm an enlightened man. I have no problem. Vulnerability in relationship. In relationship, you should not have secrets. If you are in a relationship, if you are keeping some secrets away, then you are afraid they will find out you are pretending some picture. This is not true love, this is fake. Lovers should be vulnerable. This is what I have done. This is what I'm doing. This is what I'm part of. I'm sorry. I still have to work on this, they should say. But this is what I'm doing now. It's not so nice. Accept it or not. This is what I have done. If you cannot accept what I have done in past, you don't deserve the love that I am now. It takes you to be most vulnerable, to express your true heart, to be truly yourself, to really have no secrets. And in a relationship, if you have to have secrets, if you have to fake it and hide some things, hide emotions, hide fears, and you cannot be vulnerable, this is not love. This relationship is suffering and hell. True fifth dimension, the relationship of love, is based on vulnerability, expressing all my secrets, everything what I have done, all my emotions, positive, negative, darkness and light, fears, worries. We work on this together, we heal this together, and we are best friends, not hiding from each other, afraid of being vulnerable, but being home to each other, open our vulnerable hearts to each other. This is a relationship of New Earth. And without that, we cannot be vulnerable. If we cannot truly show our darkness to our lover and our light and express, without expressing and being vulnerable, there's nothing possible. There's not even possible to start anything. Before lovers even decide to meet, connect, or in this world take it on some other level, vulnerability is the condition. They feel each other in their heart. If they live in each other's heart, they should be vulnerable. And if they are not vulnerable, if they cannot express their darkness, show each other darkness, fears, worries, illusions, and their true emotions, true love, how they feel to each other, how they make them feel, their hopes, everything within them, their secrets, whatever bothers them, whatever resonates with them energy, everything. If they cannot be vulnerable to express everything within each other to each other truly from the heart, if they have to pretend, keep their shields on and just cover it up like this weather is old cold, weather becomes warm when you express yourself. If they cannot be vulnerable, they cannot express everything to each other, they have no chance in this world, only karmic relationship of drama and suffering, or they will forever remain in separation. So Divine Masculine is called now to start expressing what they feel, because they are afraid they will get hurt. But Divine Feminine is all the time through ages expressing that true feelings and emotions, and she gets hurt always. I know, because I got many times. And now Divine Masculine is really called by Saturn and by the energies to really express what they feel in their heart, to stop running from their emotions, stop running from their reality, and to really say, this is how I feel. This is who I am. This is what I'm part of now. This is how much I love you. This is what I feel. This is what I'm afraid of. This is what I'm worried. These are my illusions. These are my truths. This is my light. This is my darkness. These are my secrets. And they become best friends. They trust each other. And they live happily ever after. If they dare to be vulnerable. Without vulnerability, there can be no angelic heavenly relationship of true love when we are best friends, because there can be no trust if I cannot be vulnerable to you from the beginning and express my truth. And I tell you, lovers should stop living in mine, especially divine masculine, because all your bullshit is felt. Yeah. If they are coming and they are not sincere, they want to cover it up in cold weather and in no emotions and just some games. Divine feminine feels and doesn't want to deal with this bullshit. So whatever is the approach, whatever you want to do, if you feel somebody in your heart, if you are in a relationship with them now in this world, whatever, you have to start being vulnerable, because if you are vulnerable in whatever stage you are creating happiest relationship for yourself. And even if nothing else happens, you are creating best friends for life. So I'm most vulnerable. I always open my true emotions, my true everything within me to you every day. And in this way, I rise up in heaven and earth in my mastery. Vulnerability is not for relationship, but for ascension and your mastery. To open your heart, to express your truth is the most important. So thank you for watching this video. Thank you for being part of my journey. I love you. I appreciate so much. Please be vulnerable always. Please, 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 please. Like I am. And if you want to support my work, Art of the Word that I am, videos, my writings, you know how much I appreciate you and how much I bless and I'm grateful to anyone who ever offered me a donation. Without you, I cannot do anything. And oh, my gold, if there's some gold and blessing in my heart, may it be yours. But I also do white light source healing session on anyone who ever offers a donation as a gift for your gift. Be blessed. Namaste. We are in this together. Be vulnerable. If you want a relationship, if you are in a relationship, if you cannot be vulnerable, it will be only hell on earth. But if you are to be vulnerable, you are to live in your own heaven on earth happily ever after in true love as best friends, homes to each other. Namaste, namaste. I love you very much. Namaste.